Hello all, welcome to a Thursday night non-alcoholic beer review. It's probably pretty quick, it's pretty late, it's already past 11 o'clock. And I got this beer from my dad, so he doesn't drink much alcohol anymore, but he still loves his beer, so he drinks non-alcoholic beers. And this one is Stella Artois Liberte. This is zero point zero ABV. It's not to be confused with Stella Artois non-alcoholic, which is zero point 0.5 ABV. So this is done under a different method than a lot of other non-alcoholic beers, and I think a lot of the reason why a lot of these large macro brewers are going to the zero point 0.0 ABV beers is because they can be sold in Muslim countries. So zero point 0.5 ABV is not halal, but a zero point 0.0 malt beverage is halal. So I think that's why Heineken and Stella Artois and other really large macro brewers are going beyond non-alcoholic beer, which is basically beer that the alcohol level is so low you don't perceive any sort of intoxication at all, to something that has basically no alcohol whatsoever in it and is thus, acceptable towards the countries of the world, a million point one 1.5 billion people in the world, you know, who are a market ready to be reached, I suppose. So yeah, never had this before, so going in blind. Let's go and pop this one open. Oh, let's just go and take a look at this first. Brewed in the USA under the strict supervision of the brewmasters from Leuven, Belgium for uncompromising quality. See here. Do they have calories? Yes, 63 calories. So actually fairly heavy for beer. Brewed with Saaz hops and all malt. Okay, well, let's get to this. I'm going to be pouring it into the Pilsner glass. Can't remember if I ever reviewed Stella Artois straight. Okay. Huh, that's a fairly persistent head right there. So, a nice golden yellow, nicely carbonated, with a frothy white head. Smells of sweet cereal malts and floral hopping. Definitely smells sweeter than the regular Stella Artois. Not much complexity there, but not really expecting much complexity. Okay, onto the palate now. Excuse me. Failed in stomping a roach there. Mouthfeel is pretty good for a non-alcoholic beer. It's still pretty thin, but not unconscionably so. Taste upfront, sharp carbonation bite, followed by hot bitterness. Top note of that cereal malts in that sort of cereal malts in the top note. minerality kind of emerges in the mids. That kind of covers up sort of, I don't want to say cloyingly sweet because it's not heavy, but it's just very apparent. It's a very apparent sweetness that appears in the finish. And the long finisher more or less finishes clean. But in that, in that interim of the mid to finish into the long finish, there is a note of that sort of cooked vegetable, kind of cooked grain sort of notes that is typical of non-alcoholic beers. Again, it's pretty mild. I think, for the overall share of the beer in the tasting process, it's not super apparent. It's there, but you definitely get, a lot of that sort of beer experience in the front in the front to mids. Of a sort of bracing carbonation for this beer style anyway. That is trying to ape here, European lager. Bracing carbonation, aromatic noble hops, and the sort of malting that's sweeter than the American lager styles. European lagers usually have a little bit more sweetness to them than the drier American lagers. Mm. Not the best, but also not the worst by far. I can definitely see myself drinking this again. I do have to say I prefer the Heineken one, the Heineken 0.01 a bit more, but it's not bad. And it's fairly accessible. So, if you're ever in Saudi Arabia, maybe give this one a shot, or if you're the designated driver and this is available, give it a shot. It's not awful. I mean, you can still taste that it is a non-alcoholic beer, but it doesn't club you over the head with it. It's fairly well obscured. And that, folks, is your non-alcoholic beer review for this night. Just as a side note, I like to, I haven't uploaded anything for a while. Part of that is I'm not making as many videos as I used to. And the other reason is, for some reason, um, it's like my upload speeds have really, really slowed. So the last few videos I uploaded for like years, it's always been like my uploads take about half an hour to an hour. Now they're taking like 3 to 4 hours. I don't know why. Um, if you have a possible explanation, you can tell me. Uh, but that makes it difficult for me to upload videos because I can't do much online while it's uploading. And honestly, I'm not home a lot to upload all that often, I suppose. And I guess that is it for tonight, folks. I'm going to try to upload something tomorrow, though. Cheers.